Hello everyone, this is Jim McCormick, and for this week 3 WIMA video, I will be taking a look at queries as you'll be doing some work this week in building some queries for your assignment for the Penguins database assignment for this week. And queries are a really important concept in Access. With queries, you really get a lot of powerful information back from the tables you've got in your database. So you maybe created some tables in your database. You related the tables. So last week we took a look at how to relate tables in Access, so you actually would get some valid information out when you build a query in Access. And so this week we'll take a look at how to actually build queries in Access and some of the neat things you can actually do. And again, queries are very good. As an example, if you're a business and you're selling to customers across the country, and you maybe have a question, how many customers do I have in the state of Missouri? You can easily build a query and just pull up all the customers in the query that are from the state of Missouri. So it's a very slick process to build a query, and you can use things like criteria to really fine-tune what you get out of your query. And again, this provides a lot of good information to you as a business person to make a decision about what you want to do, how you want to market, maybe where you want to move your business, or in terms of maybe switching to a different product line or dropping a product. So a lot of good things can come out of building queries in Access. All right, so I'm going to continue on with the database I used last week for my relationships database, where I was building the table relationship between my products table and my orders table. And so this week I will go ahead and build a query or two based on that product and orders table or customers table from last week. So I'm going to close off the orders table I got showing right now. And to create a query, you always want to, or create anything in Access, you always want to click on the Create tab. And we come over here to the far right side where it says Other on the ribbon, and we'll go Query Design. So you always want to do queries typically, I believe, in Design View because it gives you a lot of flexibility as to how you're building the query. So I'll click on the Query Design button. And right away I get into the design area for a query, and also get that Show Table dialog box that we saw last week when we were building the relationships between a couple of our tables. So now, since I'm going to be doing a query that I want to pull in fields from the customers table and the orders table, I want to go ahead and add these into my query window here. So I'll click on the Add button for customers and orders table, click on that, and click the Add button as well. Then I can close off the Show Table box. All right, so now I've got my two tables showing. If you want to, you can adjust the size of these tables so you can see all the fields within them. So, and also you get the line between them showing that these two tables are related. So you should feel good then that when you create this query, the information should make sense and it should be related to each other, the fields from one table being related to the fields on another table, because you built this table relation between the customers table and the orders table. Now, to build a simple query, let's say, for example, I wanted to pull in some fields from the customers table, and let's say I wanted to bring in the customer name field, and then maybe the customer ID field from this customers table. Easy way to do this is you can double-click on that customer ID field, and it goes ahead and zaps it on down here into the first available grid box area or column area, where my field and information and table information will go into as I build this query design view. Another way to do this is to click, hold down your left mouse button and drag that field down to the next available box, release. And again, it slots in that information in that box below, or the next available box below. If I made a mistake, didn't want that field, I can simply right click on that column and choose cut and get rid of that field. So that's not going to show up now in the query. So very easy to manipulate the fields that you want or want to put into your query. So I'm going to put that one back in there. And then from the orders table, I'm going to put in the order ID, and then I want to put in the price field. I'll put it in the product as well. So I'll put in the order ID, product, and price. So I'll double click on those three fields. All right, so now with this query, I've got 5 fields. I've got 2 fields coming from the customers table, and I've got 3 fields coming from the orders table, order ID, product, and price. Now, if I want to run this query, what I want to do first is actually save this query. So I'll hit the Save button, and I'll be asked to name this. So I'll call this, let's see, I'm just going to call it query. I'll leave it as query customer order. So I'm basically smashing some words together, indicating what I'm actually kind of providing in this query. I'll hit OK. Now to actually view this query, I just come up here and hit the View button. And now I take a look at this query. So I've got two customer IDs showing up. My John Doe customer it shows the order ID that they placed, and then actually the actual orders that they put in. So bike and wheel both came from my query or customer one, John Doe, and the price for each of those objects. And also for Mark Smith, my second customer, and these are small tables, so I've only got two customers and really 4 orders to deal with. So I got the name, the order ID for each of Mark's orders, the sprocket, and the frame, and again, the price. So this information is all actually valid. If I went back in and took a look at the orders table, I can see I've only got 4 orders, and I got the sprocket and the frame coming from customer 2. So if I come back here and take a look, sprocket and frame coming from customer 2, bike wheel from customer 1. So things are matching up, and again, this information is relating because I actually relayed those tables together. So I'm good to go right now with that query for my customer orders. So I go back into View, and I can make some modifications on this. One thing I maybe want to do is like take a look at just the information for orders that maybe were over a certain price point. So for me as a business owner, I maybe am interested in the bigger orders, and I want to see who's been ordering like maybe things that cost maybe over $300. So the way to do this would be to put in a criteria on the price field that would be greater than $300. So I'm just going to go ahead and I will put in greater than 300. And now I'll go ahead, I'll save this, and then I'll run this query again. And now in this case, I'm only seeing one field show up in my query. I got one order that came from John Doe. That was for the actual bike, and that was for $9.99. So that obviously is satisfying that criteria of being over $300. I can go back in here, and let's say I want to modify this. I want to look at everything that was maybe over $75. So I save this, and then go ahead and run this, and now I get 3 orders that are over $75. So you can see now there's some really great power that I'm deriving from this query. In this case, I'm just using a simple criteria, putting in this case, what kind of records do I want to see based on the amount of dollars I actually spent on the orders from my company. So by working with criteria, you can really kind of create some really useful information for yourself as you're kind of looking at your business. Some other things you can do here would be sorting. Sorting, if you got a lot of records, you can do an ascending or descending sort. So I can come in here, maybe I want to do a sort on the customer name. And I'm going to get rid of that $75 criteria, so I want to bring back all my records. And actually, this didn't really change my results at all because John Doe was going to be first and then followed by Mark Smith. If I go back in Design View, I can actually do a descending sort. And now I should be able to have the other fellow come up first, Mark Smith, and then John Doe. So easy enough to do to kind of manipulate the order of the records by using the sort option in your query in Design View. All right, if I want to modify this query some more, I could put in like the customer ID field if I wanted to. I could add that in at this point in the query and save it and then run that. So as you're working with your queries, here's my customer ID showing up over here again. Very easy to manipulate your query as much as you want to while you're working on it and then later on as you're running it. So the nice thing about queries is that as you add in new records into your tables, and you run it again, it'll be updated with new information that comes from the tables that the query is built on. So it's very easy to manipulate and work with your queries and get them to work the way you want to and display the fields that you want them to display from the tables that the fields are coming from. So again, query is a very powerful tool in Access. And as you build your query, again, the idea is that you need to bring your tables into this top portion of your grid area. You select your fields that you need in your query. If you need to, you can do some sorting, or this week you are doing a little bit of criteria selection on one of the queries for the Penguin database. Make sure you save your query initially, and then go ahead and view your query, and you'll see the results show up. Now again, if I didn't have these tables related, I'd have a lot of jumbled information that actually would have more records, and this would be intersplicing customer information with orders that they did not actually place. So again, crucial that you relate your tables together so you get valid information in your queries. So this is a quick little rundown on queries this week. Hopefully this will help you out with your assignments for the Penguin database for this week. If you have any questions, definitely contact me, reach out by email otherwise. And otherwise, I will talk to you soon. Thank you.